law effectively killing the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution as we know it. There will be no such thing as online privacy anymore for any citizen. And this seems to be just the beginning, as the government today has taken total executive control over Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and various other online.
They respond to what people demand and what the economy requires. Even cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple are vying for a spot in the cashless world, constantly reinventing themselves in the hope of offering more stable value and quicker and cheaper settlement. Let me now turn to my second issue. What is the role of the state? What is the role of a central bank in that new monetary landscape? Some suggest that the state should back off, should back down. Providers of e-money argue that they are less risky than banks because they do not lend money. Instead, they hold client funds in custodian accounts and simply settle payments within the network. For their part, cryptocurrencies seek to anchor trust in technology. And as long as they are transparent and you are techie savvy, you might trust their services. Still, I'm not entirely convinced. Proper regulation of these entities will remain a pillar of trust. Now, should we go further? Beyond regulation, should the state remain an active player in the market for money? Should it fill the void left by the retreat of cash? Let me be more specific. Should central banks issue a new digital form of money? A state-backed token, or perhaps an account held directly at the central bank and available to people and firms for retail payments, to each of you. True, your deposits in commercial banks are already digital, but a digital currency would be a liability of the state, like cash today. Not of a private firm, the central bank, the state. And this is not something. The fintech revolution questions the two forms of money that we just discussed, coins and commercial bank deposit. And it questions the role of the state in providing money. We are at a historic turning point. You, young or not so young, doesn't matter, but bold entrepreneurs gathered here today, you are not just inventing new services, you are reinventing the history of money. You're drawing a completely new future, actually. And we are all in the process of adapting. A new wind is blowing, and it is that of digitalization. And in this new world, we meet anywhere, anytime, as they said. And surprise, surprise, the town square is back. Back on your smartphone. We exchange information, services, even emojis, instantly, peer-to-peer, person-to-person. We float through a world of information where data is the new gold, despite growing concerns about privacy, about cyber attacks. A world in which millennials are reinventing how our economy works, phone in hand. And this is key. Money itself is changing. We expect it to become more convenient, more user-friendly, perhaps even less serious-looking. We expect it to be integrated with social media, readily available for online and person-to-person use, including micropayments. And of course, we expect it to be cheap, safe, protected against criminals and prying eyes. So, what role will remain for cash in this digital world? There are already signs in some shop windows. Cash not accepted. And it's not just in Scandinavia. Did you notice that it was rainy this morning? A little bit. Singapore is also well known for its winds. It is often windy. Winds here bring about change and opportunity. Historically, winds generally blew ships to the port. These ships resupplied while waiting for the monsoon to pass, for the seasons to change. And as the Greek philosopher Heraclitus of Ephesus would have said, change is the only constant. Singapore knows this. You know this. It is the true spirit of the FinTech Festival, opening doors to the new digital future, hoisting sails to the winds of change. And yet, change often appears daunting, unsettling, destabilizing, disrupting. Especially true for technological change. They disrupt our habit, our emotions, our jobs, our social interaction, for better or for worse. The key is to harness the benefits while managing the risks. When it comes to fintech, Singapore has shown exceptional vision. Think of the regulatory sandbox where new ideas can be tested. Think of the FinTech Innovation Lab and its collaboration with major central banks on cross-border payments. So in this context, and in my position as head of the IMF, I would like to explore three particular areas. First, I want to frame the issue in terms of the changing nature of money and the FinTech revolution. Second, I would like to evaluate the role of central banks in this new financial landscape, especially in relation to providing digital currency. And third, I would like to look at the downsides, the risks, if you will, and consider how they can be minimized. Let me begin with the big issue, the change, ironically stifle innovation. Where is your role? Where is your role if the central bank offers a full-service solution, from digital wallet to token to back-end settlement services? What if instead central banks entered a partnership with the private sector, with some of you, banks or other institutions, and said, you interface with the customer, that's what you do best. You store their wealth. You offer interest, advice, loans. But when it comes time to transact, we take over. How would this look like? Let's go back to our pizza. Hopefully by then it's still warm. When you buy it, at the click of a button, your bank transfers funds to digital currency held at the central bank. In turn, the central bank immediately forwards it to the supermarket's bank, which would credit the supermarket's accounts. All of that in a split of a second. All nearly for free and any time. Do you see what just happened? The central bank is now the trusted intermediary. The advantage is clear. Your payment would be immediate, safe, cheap, and semi-anonymous, as you wanted. Meanwhile, your bank or fellow entrepreneurs would have ensured a friendly user experience based on the latest technologies. Putting it another way, the central bank focuses on its comparative advantage, back-end settlement, and financial institutions and startups are free to focus on what they do best: client interface, innovation, providing new services. This is a public-private partnership at its best.
Global liquidity to any market, any country, any place, anywhere. Fully exchangeable to any currency, asset, or commodity. Transactions are settled, than 4 seconds. XRP is traded 24/7, 365 days a year, everywhere in the world. Removing friction from global trade, removing barriers, removing borders. XRP transfers value anytime and all the time. From you to any place on Earth.